going on there, guys? We back with another one, and today we're gonna talk a little bit of hoops and Lil Wayne coming at Draymond Green and Shannon Sharpe and some of the other guys that's been talking about Rudy Gobert on TV, uh, and his defense on Nikola Jokic, which worked in game one for him. Game two, Cat Nas Reed did a pretty good job on him. Man, I seen Nas Reed get a block on him last night. Nas Reed probably doing the best at times, but Jokic has figured some things out. I felt like game three was a must win for the Timberwolves because you don't want to give a champion any life, and that's exactly what they did. So game four ended up having an immense amount of pressure on them, and they won that one too. So coming back to Denver, they had already figured out some things as far as the length of Minnesota, and also I think one of the things we're seeing with the Minnesota Timberwolves is a team that was sitting around watching all the shows on TV. Everybody starting to believe the hype. Everybody from the last man on the team to Anthony Edwards and the Michael Jordan comparisons. I think they kind of got to them, and it's only natural, right? They're human beings, and they're going to hear what was said. And I think if they go on to lose this series, it will be extra motivation for them to come back next year and kind of control what's in front of them. But I think losing those two games at home, that was a backbreaker, and you got to finish a champion off. You cannot allow them back into the series to regain control and expect to then flip it again, because I don't think that's going to be possible. But, people been saying a lot about the Jokic and Gobert matchup, especially after Rudy Gobert took that time off in game two to welcome in the birth of his child. But it says Shannon Sharpe says Jokic has the 4-time defensive player of the year. Gobert looking like I'm guarding him. Jokic has 35, 12, 5 through 3 quarters on 13 of 17 shooting. And he did, his famous meme that they have going around, the cornbread, all that, neck bones, collard greens, all that, he be saying. And then you had Draymond Green say this.
Listen here, I got two things of why this series ain't coming back to Minnesota. Number one, the big Frenchman is sitting on that podium speaking his native language. We need to do this. You need to get a stop. It ain't we. Karl Anthony Towns is actually doing a pretty good job when he's on Joker. It's you, my man, that's getting cooked. So it's no we. Now, yes, you do need help from the other guys, but on some of those, help can't help you. Like, you just got to get a stop. So that's number one. Number two, when you're in these playoff series, for me, I'm always looking for the smallest ounce of weakness that I can find. And the way Karl Anthony Towns walked off that floor with the limp after he played the rest of that game totally fine, and then he could barely walk leaving the court, they don't believe anymore. And when you lose belief, this defending champions you're playing against, when you lose the belief, it's over. And they don't believe they can win anymore, which means this series is over.
Then Lil Wayne came back after watching the game, and he went at Jokic and said that he rocks with Gobert, he rocks with the Timberwolves, and this is what he had to say in response to everyone that's been on TV talking about Rudy Gobert.
Shout out to the Nuggets. It's a great game. But let me say, first of all, I don't like Jokic. I don't like his game. I'm from the old school. And some people say he got an old school game, I guess. But I guess that's the older school that I'm from, because he just looked like the dad's dad bod out there. They're playing. He looked like the dad of the YMC player that y'all always reference to. But anyway, I just want to shout out my man Rudy Gobert, man. For real, man. Shout out Rudy Gobert, man. Rudy Gobert out the defensive player of the year, whether you like it or not. Rudy Gobert gets so much flack, man, and all the man looks like he do to me is try his fucking hardest. The man just had him out of his first fucking child. We are all men that talk about this. We are all men that get on television that talk about this, and we decide to just forget the fact that the man just had a child. It's like you forget the fact that your first child, nothing matters. Like nothing else matters. Your little defense against Jokic and the finals and the playoffs, that don't matter. The man just had a child. That's what matters. Congratulate the man and give the man some respect for what he's doing. Also, y'all gotta remember what's on the man's shoulders. The man also gotta deal with the COVID shit. And don't forget he play on the same team with Cat, who had to deal with all the COVID shit. The man got a lot he dealing with, man. And I respect the fellas that's around him for being around him. Shout out Rudy Gobert. Shout out the Timberwolves.
I get what he's trying to say. I'll say that. I get what he's trying to say. But when you out there between those lines, there's no excuses. We've seen players like Josh Hart. I think last year he had a child, was around the playoffs time, and he came back and he had a big game. So it's had the adverse effect on other professional athletes. But I think the thing that happened was going home and losing game 3, and Jokic finding a different balance in between being aggressive, looking for his own offense, and being a passer, right? I think he was doing overly predictable passes that he could get away with on a team like the Lakers this year. Like when he would catch it in the middle, it was easy to read that he was going to try to get that lob to Aaron Gordon. And you have the length of someone like Jaden McDaniels who can actually close out on Michael Porter Jr. And most people can't, just trying to show help on Jokic and then get back out there on the perimeter. But Jokic is making quick, decisive moves, and he has an amazing touch, guys. We just got to give him that. Nobody's been able to figure him out, especially with his three-point shooting. If he's going to stand out there and hit threes like Larry Bird, what do you give up? Because you don't want Jokic, not Jokic, but you don't want Rudy Gobert and Cat so far out from the paint, because then, if Jamal Murray beats his man or Aaron Gordon's down there, if Jokic Jokic is creating that behind the back bounce pass dime that he dropped last night. I mean, you just got to give the man his flowers with some of that stuff. Defensive Player of the Year, I mean, he probably earned that award. But I don't think you can point me in the direction of the person that could stop Jokic for a series. I think they did it for a few games. So what they were supposed to do, since they had him being kind of regular for the first 2 games, you were supposed to win a home game. And that way you put them in a position to have to beat you 4 times in a row. And they did not do that. And now they've put you in a position, like this thing has been flipped upside down. It went from you having the potential to have to make them win 4 in a row or 3 of the next 4 if you would have got one of those at home, to where now you got to win the next 2. And if you can't win the next 2, then you go home. And they flipped the series upside down on y'all. Jamal Murray's figured some things out. But again, you got to kill a champion. When you got a champion now, you got to kill him. You can't let him back in the series, man. We're seeing why they are the favorites to repeat now, because if you look at Boston and just the way they'll drop like a game to that Cleveland Cavaliers team in the postseason, that's a Denver sweep type team. So if you look at, just how methodical they can be, how Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown can settle for threes at times, you would say, yeah, Denver probably is going to win their second championship. But I think, if OG Anunoby can come back and give the Knicks anything, and they were able to advance past the Pacers, I think they could give Boston a series, especially with Porzingis not playing. I think the series can be instant, to the point where Boston may want to go ahead and try to put that away as soon as possible and don't let it linger, because I truly feel like Jalen Brunson would probably be the best player in the series, and I know that's not a popular take. I know people think Tatum and Brown is better, but I would personally say Jalen Brunson is the best player in that series. But again, if you're saying Tatum, you're talking about both ends of the floor and how he has the potential to impact it, I can see where you're coming from, but just often, too many times, him and Brown fall in love with threes, and they're capable of so much more, you know what I'm saying? So, But I ain't gonna get too far off on that, man. I just want to know what you guys think about Lil Wayne's comments as it pertains to Jokic and Rudy Gobert. Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.
Skip tweeted something, and although I disagree with the tweet, and hopefully Skip would take it down.
I'm not going to take it down.
Skip.